everybody into the Genesis Outdoors studio. Today we are going to be beginning a series on all of the gear that we are going to be putting to use this 2024 hunting season. We're going to be breaking this into some smaller portion videos highlighting specific areas of our hunting gear. Specifically today we're going to be talking about my personal layering system that I'm going to be putting to use throughout this hunting season. Several of these items are staples in my last several hunting seasons, items that I love, that I've put through it, and they've held up tremendously. I'm also going to be highlighting a set of gear that I'm going to be trying out for the first time and putting through the works this year. So to just get this guy started off, we're just going to start with my uppers, and we are going to start with just kind of how I would layer myself depending on the type of hunt. Tony and myself are going to be leaving for a spring bear here in a few weeks in the state of Idaho. And depending what the weather is going to be looking like, we're going a little bit later into the season here, so we could definitely get into some storms and some rain and whatnot, but traditionally the last couple years when we've gone a little later, we've had a little bit better weather while we've been there. We are going to be hunting out of a base camp this year, actually utilizing a new trailer setup we got to haul our gear, so we are going to have the luxury of having extra luxury items with us this year, as opposed to, you know, depending on if we're doing a backcountry style hunt where we're hiking in and just what we're bringing in with us is all we're going to have. We might leave extra items, or we might take different items, just depending. So we're going to have the luxury of choosing some extra items. So some of the new stuff that I'm going to be putting together this year is I'm actually have an entire new setup from Stone Glacier, focused a little bit more along the lines of synthetics versus just merino wools that I'm going to be putting to use this year. So let's just jump right in. This is Stone Glacier's what would be like their Avro Crew. They're actually calling it an Enduro Crew right now. It's 100% a synthetic, it's polyester. I typically run long sleeves most of the time, just for the sake of UV protection, as well as keeping bugs from crawling all over me. It also helps me keep a little bit of the dirt and some of that other stuff that we're busting through off of me. But there's been times where I look at my bud Tone and he's in a short sleeve when that sun's beating down, and it looks real nice. So I got a Crew short sleeve this year that I might be using as just kind of an all-around, I guess, first layer, base layer. It's not really for warmth, it's just kind of nice to have that layer to get down to. Their synthetic Crew, I got some notes here, but it's got UPF 43 plus protection. It's super lightweight. The reason that I'm going with Stone Glacier this year, at least trying out, is I've heard a lot of great reviews about their synthetics and their clothing holding shape throughout longer hunts. I tend to put on a lot of miles and sweat a lot, and a lot of my other items tend to get a little bit stretched out or a little bit baggy by the end of the hunt. Not necessarily uncomfortable, but I do definitely prefer more form-fitting clothing that sticks a little bit closer to me. It's just a little bit more comfortable for me. So I'll probably be running this mostly as just like an everyday shirt underneath other layers. The next item that I'd be using, which would be like a base layer to mid layer, is I will be running Stone Glacier's Avro synthetic hoodie. I have not put any of these to use yet, so you're getting the first glance at my layer setup for a lot of my items this year, and I'll be looking forward to doing a review later for you guys of my overall opinions compared to the other gear that I've worn in years past. Something that I immediately like about this hoodie, after just doing a simple try on and whatnot, is the hood itself. Super form fitting. When you put that guy on and you zip it up, it's like a half zip. When you put this on, it's very form fitting. The sleeves fit very nice, and the half zipper, when you zip that guy all the way up and you have that hood up, it's nice and tight to your face. which I love when I'm wearing a hat, etc. and you're sitting up there glassing. I like things to stay nice and tight to me. I don't like my hoods moving around a bunch. It creates a lot of unnecessary noise, not necessarily disturbing animals, but just my personal hearing when I'm trying to hear things maybe moving around if I'm walking in close quarters, etc. Ultra lightweight, polyester. These are supposed to be very quick drying, which is great for me. I actually spent a lot of time this off season putting on a little bit of extra mass and a little bit of extra strength, and my sweat glands have opened up and I am just a sweating machine when I get out working out. So I'm looking forward to putting these to use to see how they differ from some other items that I have been using. And let me just grab some notes here so I can highlight some features for you guys on this hoodie. This is Stone Glacier's Stone Gray color. I have some camos here I'll highlight, but I have really enjoyed moving away from most of my camos and primarily wearing solids throughout the year. A lot of my hunting gear, I don't know about you guys, but I love to wear my hunting gear. Hoodies and stuff, I love to just wear everyday use throughout the week, on the weekends. So having the solid colors make them pretty nice to be able to go out with or hang out with friends, etc. These are treated with what they call a Polygiene odor treatment. So they're supposed to be very good at keeping the odor down. I've heard mixed reviews from different people who tend to have a higher odor versus those who don't, versus like merino, etc. So we're going to put that to the test this year. So again, that is the Stone Glacier Avro synthetic hoodie. I'm in a size large right now, which I'm anticipating is going to fit me pretty nice. And that retails for $89 at Stone Glacier. For my mid layer, I am going to be running a combo of two different items this year. I will be running the Stone Glacier Helio hoodie. This is in their, I believe their fern green. Yep, this is their fern green. These retail at $139. Again, this is another half zip, which I really like. So the Helio hoodie is a grid fleece, merino style, and it's a poly spandex blend. So I've really gotten into the grid fleeces this last year, which is why I'm going to have one of my other staple items in my bag with me. I did get the chance to wear this hoodie on a recent turkey hunt, spring turkey hunt with a friend of mine. I took him on his first hunt here in North Idaho, and we were able to get him a turkey, but I wore this both days that we were there and absolutely loved layering this underneath my puffy jacket. It definitely got warmer throughout the day, but with the puffy jacket on, we were in probably like low 20s in the mornings when we went out for first sit, and this layered with one of my puffies was absolutely lights out. Again, this is a very form-fitting piece of clothing. It's got spandex in most all of the articulating spots. It's got thumb holes if you're into that. I don't typically do that. It just kind of interferes with how I like to do that. It does have a chest pocket, so I don't know if I'm going to like this chest pocket or not. It's pretty much covered up by my bino harness when I have my bino harness on, and I never take my bino harness off. So I'm not sure if that chest pocket for hunting is going to serve much of a purpose, but a lot of my other items come with those chest pockets too on the inside or the outside, and I don't tend to need to use them. But if you were using this as like an everyday go out type of just nice pullover, you could definitely stick something like a wallet or chapstick or your phone or etc. in there if that's what you wanted to do. This only weighs about 14.5 ounces, so it's super lightweight. It also has the odor control technology, the Polygiene odor control technology, built-in thumb loops, and just very much looking forward to putting this to use this year and letting you guys know what I think of this. I really rock these grid fleece style pullovers most throughout the entire day when I'm hunting. I don't mind being a little bit warm at times, and they tend to do the job early in the morning when you're hiking, and they don't create too much sweat. So that's that. The other item that I'm going to be using as a mid layer, which I have ran the last several years, is my Kryptek Kronos hoodie. This one is just a standard collar, no hood on it. That's typically because I'm usually running a base layer shirt similar to like the Avro synthetic hoodie, or I would be running the Kryptek bamboo hoodie, which is very similar. It's the same wicking type of fabric, and I don't like to pile up too many hoods when I am out in the field. It just gets redundant, hood after hood after hood, and having that kind of bunched up with my vinyl harness in the back. So I tried running hoodless grid fleece last year, and really enjoyed it. This is Kryptek's Kronos hoodie. It's very similar, it appears, to the Stone Glacier. This is their Obscura pattern. It'll be dealer's choice. I might swap these out depending on how the odor control is. For Spring Bear, we're doing a full week-long trip this year. Typically, we only do like 3 nights or 4 nights. We're going for an entire week this year. So, and again, we're hunting out of a kind of a base camp unit at the truck, and covering a lot of distance this year versus hiking in. So we're going to have the ability to have some other luxury items, and I'm definitely going to have my faithfuls with me on that hunt. For my base layer bottoms, I am going to be running the Stone Glacier full zip-off bottoms. This is my first year running the full zip-offs, which I have heard tremendous reviews about, mainly because the ability to wear a base layer. I love wearing leggings in the morning. My legs, for whatever reason, tend to run cold in the morning, and I have had some like low back and some hip issues in the past. So my joints just really do not like it if they're cold in the morning, especially when you're starting to put those first miles on. So I am going to be running these leggings. These are their Helio full zip-offs in Fern. This gives me the ability. The one thing I don't like about wearing leggings is you put your leggings on, you put your boots on, you put your pants, or you put your pants on, put your boots on, and then you got your gaiters on. You're going to take all that stuff off to get your leggings off if you're hiking and you're sweating a bunch. And as you guys know, layering is everything, and once you start sweating when it's cold, it is tough. So the ability to just pop the pants down real quick, unzip these guys, rip them off, pull the pants right back up, and you're right back to business is something I'm super looking forward to. They also utilize the a similar technology to the pants that I'm going to be running this year. Not quite, but a little bit, where they have this Velcro waist that's double adjustable. So it's also got spandex, so it's form-fitting, and you can get it as tight or as loose as you want, but you have your minor adjustments in your Velcro, so you can really cinch that guy up, as well as unzip that guy all the way like that, and then you have the ability to just pull those guys off your legs when you're out in the field. These retail at $119, and again, they're very lightweight, they're breathable, they're microgrid fleece, so they should be extra warm. And I actually prefer to run like a base layer under my pants, and then typically year-round, even in colder weather, I would prefer to wear these and to wear a little bit lighter pant than heavy-duty pants without these. I just prefer the lighter pants throughout the day when that sun starts beating down. Even in the later months when it gets cold, I like the ability to just have a little bit thinner layer. So again, those are the Stone Glacier Helio full zip Fern leggings. They're a grid fleece, and we're going to be putting those to use this spring. Over the tops of those, these are the Stone Glacier de Havilland light pants in the fern green also. I wore these on that same spring turkey hunt that we were just on here 2 weeks ago, and they've instantly rose to the top of my list as my favorite pant, at least at short glimpse, for several reasons, and I'll highlight those here for you. As again, I was talking about, this is their very unique waist-like adjustment setup. They utilize a Velcro zipper adjustment that gives you about 2.5 inches of adjustment, where you can place that zipper wherever you want to on that 2.5 inches, and it will cinch up the pants a little bit tighter around your waist. And then they have this built-in clip style, real easy, snug tight, like built-in belt elastic waist that you can just pull extra tight. I really liked that versus having to wear a belt on my pants. I wasn't sure. I can't stand it when my pack drags my pants down, if my back pad is rubbing against my belt line, etc. This really eliminated that ability, as well as when I typically like to tuck my upper layers in. Helps keep bugs and drafts and stuff like that out. This gave me the ability to really just get that perfect fit, comfortable fit around the waist with my waist pad. The other thing I really like about these versus other pants I have is these have like almost a full leg zip open for just really dumping heat. When you're out on that trail hiking miles and miles, if you tend to run warm, we all know what it's like when you're just getting super hot, super sweaty, and the ability to just dump heat. Most of our other pants will just run like a 4 or 5 inch zipper with typically like a mesh on the inside. With that mesh, it definitely helps keep things, if you're beating brush or doing anything like that and you have your pants open from like pine needles, etc., getting in there, whereas this does not have anything in it. I don't typically hike with the zippers open. I might crack them a little bit for ventilation, but I don't typically hike with them open. But the ability when you take a stop to just unzip those real quick and just dump some heat off your legs and out of your body real quick is going to be real nice. They're not too noisy of a pant. These are their lights. Again, they also have a de Havilland, like their standard pant, which would be more of like a heavier duty. These are about the same or a little bit heavier than what I typically run. So I don't know that I will be upping these at all this year. Tony and I are going to Alaska this August for a caribou tag that I drew, and we're going to be primarily bringing this gear. I will be talking to some other people who have been to Alaska and kind of seeing what weather is like during that late August time for caribou, and we'll make some gear adjustments based off of that. Since it'll be our first time in Alaska, we want to make sure that we're not underprepared, obviously, for that. So again, these are the Stone Glacier de Havilland pants. Big favorite of mine right now, and I'll let you guys know how those wear throughout the season. For my uppers, as far as jackets are concerned, I run either the mid-layer grid fleeces as just an everyday thing, and then I like to throw a puffy over the top. Big time puffy guy. They're comfy. Me and Tony like to say it's like getting a big hug on the mountain, which just, everybody needs a hug, you know? So this is a new puffy that I will be at least testing out this year, and we'll see if I end up liking it versus my traditional one that I run. This is the Stone Glacier Grumman Light down jacket. They also have their big Grumman jacket. This one utilizes much smaller insulation pockets for loft. It's very lightweight. They also come with some stuff sacks that you can put them in. And it comes with a draw cord on the back so you can cinch up the hood if you want to. You know, for a springtime hunt, this will be kind of a game time decision at the trailhead, depending on just how things are feeling in the morning. I can typically get away with a grid fleece and a lighter duty puffy jacket if you're sitting up on the mountain. But sometimes those winds can get a little carried away if you're up on a ridge line and whatnot, and just, I definitely like to be warm. So it'll be a toss-up between that or bringing my Kryptek, my larger puffy, which I'll go over with you here in a second. This is, again, their fern green. It's got nice big pockets here on both sides. It does not utilize any sort of other pockets. This is just a very down and dirty, nitty gritty, lightweight, universal puffy that really is probably going to layer very well with a grid fleece or even just a light synthetic hoodie for some of those glassing moments. It's filled with 850 down hyper dry goose down insulation, and it's also got 15 denier weather resistant Pertex shells, so you should get some pretty decent just general resistance from rain, dew in the morning, fog lifting off, and whatnot. So this will be my first year running this, and we will see whether this stays in the pack or if it becomes more of like an everyday jacket for me, just in colder spring days here to and from work, or running errands or doing stuff around the homestead. So we'll see if that makes it. The Grumman light jacket retails for $249, which is really good for this jacket, with its weather resistant fabric and whatnot. So keep that in mind when you're choosing. I would imagine that their standard Grumman is much similar to my Kryptek Aris jacket, which I'll go over next for you guys. This is my Kryptek Aris jacket. This is a big puppy, thick, filled with the 800 down. Again, this is again in their Obscura pattern. It's got a chest pocket, both of these pockets. Same thing, it's got a tightener on the hood. The full zip comes clean up to like just under your nose, so it gives you a lot of protection. It's very, very, very lofty. It's got the Velcro adjustable sleeves with a little bit of spandex in there. I'm not a huge fan of Velcro on the cuffs. I like more with the Grumman jacket. It doesn't utilize the Velcro. It's just got spandex kind of in the whole thing. That's kind of more my style. I don't like having to adjust the sleeves up and down depending on whether I'm wearing a glove or not. But as you can see, this is pretty worn. Probably needs a little bit of a spruce up. It's got a couple of holes in it, a couple little ember burns from campfires, etc. But this is my Kryptek Aris jacket, and it is definitely right now my favorite jacket. I don't really ever leave this. It packs down super tight, and you can even stuff it in your sleeping bag as like an extra pillow, or a lot of times what I like to do is I actually like to take my puffy and tuck it in the bottom of my sleeping bag by my feet, if need be, with my other clothes that I might put on the next day, and it makes them nice and toasty in the morning when you're getting ready to go. Finally, address some major layers that we'll wear. I always wear gaiters 100% of the time. Even in hot weather, does not matter, I wear gaiters. I do not like bugs crawling up my pants. I do not like ticks, etc. These are the Peaks gaiters in the green. And last year was the first year that I ran these Peaks gaiters. I've ran other brand gaiters. I've ran Kryptek gaiters. I've ran OR gaiters. Tony runs OR gaiters and loves them. I do have a pair of OR gaiters and love them. These Peaks gaiters are by far my favorite. Very easy to adjust. They're honestly, they're great looking. They're very form fitting. They fit my boot and my foot pattern and my calf pattern stuff real nice. They utilize a little clip system here that's just quick and easy. Just a little snap clip system, which is real nice. Rather than some of the buckles, I'm not a huge fan of the buckles. So again, these are the Peaks gaiters. I will be running those this year again. They're made out of Cordura, super tough, super strong, not noisy. I'm a big fan of those. And the final thing is, never leave your rain gear at home, people, because if you leave your rain gear and say you don't need it, you're going to need it. It just seems to go that way. This is the Kryptek Tekor rain gear in their altitude pattern. Not a ton to go over here. Everybody likes something a little different for rain gear, but we have had tremendous success in some rainstorms with this. Their pants are a full zip, top to bottom, so they're very easy to get on and off without having to remove your boots. And they got snap buckles and stuff for tightening at the ankles and whatnot. And these also work as a pretty good just outer layer if you're going to be beating brush, or sometimes we'll throw the pants on as just a, honestly, just a warmth layer in the mornings over the top of stuff. If we're just sitting at camp glassing for a while and it's dewy out or whatnot, you can pour these on and save a little extra warmth. So with that, that's going to make up the majority of my layering system this year. I will also have some down gloves, like some grommets that I'll be wearing from Black Ovis. And also there's a couple other pants that we might loop in and out, just depending. This is a very similar layering system to what Tony will be running this year. He's pretty dialed in, and we'll see if we can get him on to talk a little bit about his stuff. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Be sure and check out our YouTube, check out our Instagram, Facebook. Be sure and like and subscribe. Drop us a comment, and everything you guys do for us helps us continue to do this stuff for you. I hope you guys enjoy the content. We're going to have some hunt videos coming out for you guys later this year into next year. We appreciate you guys following along. From Genesis Outdoor Studio, talk to you soon.